Hello Seekers, welcome to Punneits Astrology, your one-stop Astro channel. Once again, we are with an ascendant-wise analysis for a very good transit of this year 2020 and 2021, the Jupiter transit in the sign of Capricorn. Jupiter has already moved in the sign of Capricorn on 20th of November and has joined Saturn, forming a Neech Bhang Raj Yog. What this has in store for us, let us find out. To understand this analysis, there are two ways to do this. First, to understand the physical and overall effect, treat this as ascendant-wise analysis. And to understand the psychological effect, treat this analysis as the psychological and as per your Chandra Rashi. That means, suppose if you are a Cancer ascendant person, then watch the Cancer video as the overall and the physical effect. And if you are the Cancer ascendant but Virgo moon sign, watch the Virgo video to understand the psychological aspect. So you have two videos to watch, one according to the ascendant and the other according to the moon sign. I hope this makes you clear how to understand the transit videos, because the videos that I make are on the zodiac perspective and treating as ascendant, but it can also be watched for the moon sign. Suppose you don't know your ascendant but you know your moon sign, then you can watch the video for your moon sign, but taking that as more of a mental and psychological aspect. The same pointers will hold true, but more on the psychological level. So let's start with this analysis for ascendant by ascendant. But before that, do not forget to hit like, subscribe and share and hit the bell icon so that you never miss another update. You can follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for Astro Bites. The link are in the description box below. Also, if you want to take my consultation, you can drop me an email. The email ID is also in the description box below. So let's continue the ascendant-wise analysis. Ascendant number 1, Aries ascendant. Aries ascendant is similar to the Kalpurush zodiac belt. For you, Jupiter has moved out of the 9th house, the Dharma Sthan, to the Karma Sthan, the house of Karma and career, 10th house. Jupiter rules your 9th and the 12th house, therefore it rules Dharma and Moksha. Whereas Saturn rules the Karma and the Karma Phal. Now, the entire belt from 9th house to 12th house, which is controlled by Jupiter and Saturn, those two planets are in the 10th house itself. So now this year becomes a Karma Pradhan, Karma dominated year for you. This transit is more about learning new things through execution of task. This is more about doing things rather than thinking about the result. How to understand this? If you see, the 11th Lord is in the 10th house. If 11th Lord is in the 10th house, that's called loss of expectations. But this is Saturn, so it will ask you to work and work and work. So when Jupiter connects with Saturn, this is the Jnana connecting with the Karma. So the knowledge that you have gathered over the years has to be now put into use. The Neech Bhang Raj Yog in the 10th house is definitely going to be a defining factor in your outlook towards your career and in the career perspective, from the career perspective, where the dimensions of your career can change, the dimensions, the way you hold your position in society can change. Everything about you, which is bright, which is into limelight, will change when Jupiter will move in the 10th house. Now, on the other hand, what I do see is that the 12th Lord is also in the 10th house. That means sacrifice is needed. That means you have to keep on doing without even expectation of a result. Seems difficult, right? But it's actually not. Because ultimately it's a Neech Bhanga, and this Raj Yoga is definitely going to give you once you give to the society. So it's the time when you should not focus on the result or the Karma Phal, rather than focusing on the process is something that you should do. Jupiter will have its 5th aspect on the 2nd house. So yes, financially it may be somewhat difficult, it can crunch you. So you have to be very much careful about the way you work in the corporate, in the career, the way you operate your business, because there can be financial losses, there can be financial hurdles, there can be financial setbacks that you so that you can face, so you have to invest your money carefully. This also means that in your family, you will have to do a lot of things and you may get back nothing. That's what life is, and life seems to be unfair, but it's actually not, because karma, phal never goes in waste. It's not like you will do some karma and you're not going to get the karma phal. You will definitely get the karma phal. Second house is also food, second house is also speech, so the words that you use has to be very, very diplomatic. You can't be too extreme, you can't be too strong and rude in your words, which you will, because Jupiter's fifth aspect will say, speak the bad word, get the return, learn from the experience. So be careful about that. Jupiter's seventh aspect falls on fourth house. This is a house which is constantly getting the aspect of Jupiter as well as Shani. But this is the exaltation aspect of Jupiter, because Cancer is the house of exaltation. So when the exaltation aspect of Jupiter comes into picture, this means something auspicious will happen in your home. Now the two houses, fourth and the second house, are getting Jupiter aspect, while Jupiter is with Saturn. That means something in the family will happen that will make you work towards that family. That means your family, home will need your attention. So the work-life balance has to be carefully managed, otherwise you can burn out yourself, by hard work, excessive work, and that burning out can create frustration in mind, that can create health issues, so you have to be very careful. Jupiter's ninth aspect falls on the sixth house, which is good for finding out and fighting the enemy. This is good where your enemies actually become either your friends or they become neutral to you. So justice will be served in this case. But if you have a pending court case, if you have some litigation and accusations made upon you and you are at fault, then there can be some problems and you may have to accept your mistake. Because acceptance and gratitude is the key theme for the ascendant of Aries and Jupiter transit. Not only that, if you see, Saturn's aspect on the sign of Pisces is also making Jupiter follow the path of Saturn. So it's a very restricted path. The Gyan is focused. If you don't have the focus of your knowledge, if your knowledge is not focused, then your karma is not focused. And then it can create troubles for you. When it is in the 10th house, that means you can create troubles for yourself. So every action, every interpretation of an action or emotion made by you has to be carefully analyzed in a neutral manner. And then when somebody comes back and gives you a response, you should not react to that response. You should carefully analyze what that person has to say. Because Saturn's 10th aspect falls on the 7th house, house of Libra. That means Saturn will time to time, through his own ways of hard work and rude words, harsh statements, will make you remind of your mistake. And if you can catch those hints given by Saturn in the obstacles, you will be getting the blessings of the planet. So when you are feeling that there is an obstacle, the task that you're doing is not happening, you should immediately get back to the drawing board, find out what's wrong, because that's the obstacle of Shani trying to protect you. On the other hand, from the health perspective, because the 2nd and 6th house are getting impacted, you should be more conscious towards your physical health as well as spiritual health. So read Bhagavad Gita as much as possible. Start becoming a bit spiritual. That does not, you can follow any religion, but becoming spiritual means becoming adhyatmic, self-study. Try to learn about yourself more and more and more. Reduce your aggression, because frustration can creep in, because the dimension is very narrow in which you are walking. And you being an Aries ascendant or Aries moon sign, have this headstrong attitude of breaking through and creating your own path, but not this time. And that is why this transit may seem to be a very rough and rigid transit to handle, where it is actually going to give you some real blessing. Remember, a stone can be created into a marvelous sculpture, provided that stone gets the beating of chisels and hammers. Without being chiseled, without getting the hit, without bearing the force of the hammer, one cannot create a masterpiece out of a rock. That's what this transit is. It is there to create a masterpiece out of you. Will you bear the pressure or you will break down under it is your decision. That has to be your caliber. So I will say have this headstrong attitude, but also surrender to the will of God. Follow the narrow path and get the best out of it. Financially, I will say you need to calm down. Financially, you need to plan a lot. Career-wise, definitely there are going to be a lot of changes and blockages. So you have to handle and create workarounds. You have to bypass that in a very optimistic and positive manner. From the family perspective, yes, your attention is much more needed now in the areas of family which have gone sour and which needs attention. Now is the high time that you have to take the matter in your own hand and you have to put your attention through that. And from the matters of health, as I have said, do yoga, eat right, and take care of your mental and emotional, spiritual, and physical health. With this, I end this video for the Aries Ascendant. So guys, that was a quick take on the Ascendant-wise analysis. I hope you liked this video, and if you like, do not forget to hit like, subscribe, and share, and hit the bell icon so that you never miss another update. This is your host Puneet. Let's meet in the next video. Till then, namaste.